Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing out there? Well, I hope you're doing fine. Well, I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm gonna let you listen to a couple videos about the elderly people that were when Joe Biden came and spoke to them about Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm gonna play a couple videos and I'll get back with my commentary. First person, Lisa DeBera, had this to say. And, I'm going to go to Information Man Show, same topic.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an update on the Tulsa case for reparations, for the 3 known survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Well, an Oklahoma judge dismissed the reparations lawsuit. So the 3 had been locked in years-long battle against the city of Tulsa and other groups and officials over the opportunities taken from them when the city of Greenwood neighborhood was burnt to the ground in 1921. So you can't even say all the usual crap that you say about nobody alive is impacted. Well, these folks are still here and they were impacted and still remember the incident. So contemporary reports of deaths at 36, but historians believe that it was 300, and I heard even that number is a lowball number of the people that have died during the Tulsa Race Massacre. Thousands were left homeless. Leslie Benenfield, 108. Viola Fletcher, 109. And their brother Hughes Van Ellis, 102, were among the plaintiffs. CNN reported the plaintiffs argued that the damage inflicted during the massacre was a public nuisance from the start, and they are seeking relief. Yeah, I mean, they lost everything, and they are still alive to tell this story. And of course it was exploitation, jealousy. These folks have been running around lying, talking about we can't live without them. Well, Tulsa will always be a clear reminder that for 15 years, will always be a clear reminder that for 15 years, Black Wall Street turned a profit, and their Wall Street has never done that for 15 straight years. Not even once in history. Now, the dummies that don't know history will probably try to tell you it did happen, but they couldn't show you to save their mama's life. So, Cornell's Legal Information Institute defines public. What they're saying is that this was a very public thing that occurred in Tulsa. It's recorded history. You got survivors still alive. Now what's your excuse? Because everything that you say to us against reparations, you never said to any other group that received it. That's how we know it's just clear racism. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. However, the city of Tulsa requested the lawsuit be dismissed with prejudice against refiling, arguing that, in part, that simply being connected to the historical event does not provide a person with unlimited rights to seek compensation from any project in any way related to the historical event. Again, these are things that you have never said to other people that got reparations. You know, it's amazing all the new things you keep scraping up. If that were the case, every person connected to any historical event could make similar unjust enrichment claims against every museum or point of remembrance the city claimed. Judge Carolyn Wall, remember this judge's name, on Friday found that upon hearing the arguments of counsel and considering the beliefs filed by counsel for plaintiffs, the counsel for defendants, the plaintiff's Second Amendment petition should and shall be dismissed with prejudice, court records show. Ike Howard, grandson of Viola Fletcher, said he was angry about the ruling. They were blighted and once again not made whole, Howard said. We still remain blighted. We wish the DOJ would investigate how can we get justice in the same city that created the situation. He's right. Is justice only for the rich? Well, apparently in America, justice is only for anybody, and reparations is for anyone that's non-black. Family attorneys were expecting to address the possibility of an appeal. Family members of Randall could not immediately be contacted. Ed Mitson, who made a private $1 million donation to the 3 survivors, told CNN on Saturday the Oklahoma state government should be ashamed of itself for not doing right by these 3 wonderful people, one of whom fought for this city in World War II. Yes, and you know, they always make these false claims that they love veterans, but just certain ones. Fletcher was 7 years old when a violent white mob targeted black residents and destroyed her community, a thriving black economic hub. My life was taken from me, Van Willis previously said, as he reflected on his family fleeing Greenwood when he was only a few months old. He previously told CNN his family and other survivors left their homes and opportunities behind. I lost 102 years. I do not want nobody else to lose that, Van Ellis said. This is a shame, but y'all, what they're in fear of, if they give these people reparations, then it opens the door for the rest of us to get it. Okay? And they're in fear of giving anything to black people. They don't want to set off an avalanche of lawsuits and people being paid reparations. But I think this is a disgrace. You got survivors. You only got 3. How much would it kill you to give 3 people that lived through that massacre any kind of compensation? You're going to have to tell me what you think about this video, y'all. America's not ashamed. America has no shame. When is a demon full of shame? They're not. Please leave your comment and subscribe.
Find a new deal that will allow the Jewish community will now get another $1.4 billion for their Holocaust. They tell you and me that the reason why they get money is because they've got living descendants. Well, we've got living descendants right here. And the question is again, why would they deny, other than the fact that it's racism, it's white supremacy, it's a continued hate on black people? Adrian Williams gave me a $10 super chat. Thank you. I want you all, I'm going to play something for you because I want you to hear them in their own words. This is on the Joy Reid show. I only clipped a little bit of this, and because I want y'all to hear what they said about repair. And I want y'all to hear this. Check this out.
What does justice look like to you?
Well, everything is beautiful and rebuilt and restored, and we just think it's just time now that we have justice on all of that, where we can live all our life, that type of life over again.
Boom. Look, Viola Fletcher is talking about reparations. She's saying that we want things to be rebuilt so that we can live the type of life that we were living at that time. So that means to rebuild, what do you need to rebuild? You need money. You need money. You need reparations. Because the word, they always tell us that the word reparations mean to do what? To repair. To repair for a debt that you owe. To repair, right? So she's saying we want our life back. We want the lifestyle that we had once before, which requires money. See, a lot of times people want to wrap this reparations into a program. Oh, give black people educational Black people have already been given educational programs. Oh, give black people housing. No, you give black people reparations check, we can buy our own housing. We don't need to be put in your project. We don't need any damn projects and low-income housing being built so that we end up paying money to the government, paying money to somebody that owns the property that we don't own. See? Because when you rent an apartment, you're paying the system. You're paying back something. You black people need home ownership. In Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921, they had home ownership. They had business ownership. So if you're going to give reparations, it's got to be cash payments so that black people can do what? Open up businesses. And you've got to make it fair and balanced so that black people can get those damn bank loans to be able to open up, to get a business started. Or give us the damn reparations money and we don't need a bank loan. Because remember, in America, white people are only turned down for a bank loan when trying to gain a bank loan to an existing business that they already have. White people are turned down at 25%, and black people who already have existing businesses are turned down at the tune of 50% turned down for a bank loan when you're trying to get money to expand your existing business. You give black people the money, and we have the new know-how of people out here that can educate us on managing our money, meaning our own black financial advisors. Now, people always say if you give black people a check, they're going to spend all the money. You guys don't worry about how white people spend their money. Look at all the bankruptcies that white people go through. Look at how this country was in a bad deficit in 2008 and 2009. Who caused that? That was caused by Wall Street. Who runs Wall Street? White folks. What about presidents who run the economy into the ground? I think before Obama got into office, it was George Bush who ran the economy in the ground. That was a white person. So why do we think that all of a sudden that white people know how to run businesses better than we can run a business when they run everything in the ground? They run the damn country in the ground. They run all type of corporations into the ground. You had a private bank in Silicon Valley in California. That bank went bankrupt. They had all kind of financial problems. Who ran that bank? It was white folks who ran that bank. Oh, some of you out there who love Donald Trump. Donald Trump's got about 33, I'm going to say it again, 33 bankruptcies.
Tell the truth.
He's run all kind of businesses in the dirt. Remember, he had in what was that? He had the casino. He ran that into the dirt. So I don't want to hear anybody on the YouTube streets talking about black people. If you give us money, we're just gonna spend it. Like white folks don't spend their money. Like white folks don't get money and blow money and mismanage their businesses and mismanage their mortgages and mismanage everything in their life too. Yes, they do. Matter of fact, they manage the money so bad in this country to the point that it affects you and me, because who you think run the government and run the government to the dirt? Last time I checked, America has a big deficit where we owe money, or this country owes money to the Chinese. Who you think created that deficit? It wasn't black folks, because black folks don't run the government. White folks, for the most part, run the government in this country. That's the truth. So shut up. A lot of people don't use no logic on YouTube. Shut up about black people can't manage their own money. Shut up. Worry about your money. Stop pocket watching and worry about your money, because you're damn sure not getting up on these platforms clowning how white folks mismanage their money, but you're worrying about how black people managing their money. Get the hell out of here with that. So I want y'all to hear this again. It's about repair. And she's saying it. We want the lives that we had before. That comes with money.
What does justice look like to you?
Well, everything is beautiful and rebuilt and restored, and we just think it's just time now that we have justice on all of that, where we can live all our life, that type of life over again as a grown up.
All right. Truth is truth, truth is truth. I want to say peace and love to everybody out there watching in Roku TV right now, live on Roku TV. Thank you. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. And I want to thank everybody that's in the chat room that's coming on through, supporting. We got HH. I see we've got lovely Cherokee in the house. We've got Reps is in the house for reparations. We need those reparations. We need them now. And we got my man Keith West in the house. I thank you very much for being here. And we got brother Carl Rock in the house. What's going on, Carl? Brother Rock, ROC, brother Rock. Good to see you over here. Once again, we're getting at it. We're going at it. This is about facts. This is about truth, everybody. This is not about BS. Right now, I'm telling you the truth. You know I'm telling you the truth. Make sure, if you have not, shared this video out in your Twitter, your Facebook, and any social media platforms that you are a part of, that you use. If you're a content creator, share it in your community tab so that people can hear this message that I'm going to send you today, and that I'm going to give you. Not only that I'm giving you, but that you're getting from what's happening in the world today. What happened to these young, incredible people we have, Viola and her brother, is a damn shame. Why would they not get the reparations that is owed them? See, when you have people who have this mindset that these things are not very real, like the school superintendent, they had a documentary and they talked about how they stopped teaching the Tulsa 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. They stopped teaching it in the schools. There was a lot of kids who didn't learn about this. Well, when you got a superintendent of schools, another usual suspect, these white supremacists are in our schools, they're in our military, or in our policing. They're doing everything that they can to wipe our history out. These folks are trying to destroy our history. They're trying to wipe away the idea that race does matter, and it is a reality. They're trying to wash it away. And this is why you have people like this man right here, who is doing everything. The Republicans want to set precedents all across this country to make it illegal for you to be able to bring up a reparations proposal. Right now, let me also put this on the screen right here. This man right here, Brian Babin, is a Republican. As I said before, he represents the 36th district in Texas. Look him up, because they're pushing this. The Republicans are pushing this. They're doing everything to destroy our history. They want to make America white again, because that's the dog whistle that we've been hearing for a very long time in this country, ever since Donald Trump got in office, this is the narrative that we've been hearing. I want to play something for you as a reminder. If I can find that particular audio. So let me see if I can find that particular audio. If not, I will move forward, and I appreciate everybody that is here once more. So I don't have that audio. I'm going to pull that audio up in just a moment. But with that said, I want y'all to listen to this right here. This guy is the superintendent of schools in Oklahoma. I want y'all to hear exactly what he's saying here. Check it out.
The Tulsa Race Massacre not fall under your definition of CRT.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't address that part. I would never tell a kid that because of your race, because of your color of your skin, or your gender, or anything like that, you are less of a person or are inherently racist. That doesn't mean you don't judge the actions of individuals. Oh, you can absolutely. Historically, you should.
Ryan Walters speaking on Thursday while at an event in Norman, answering questions from the audience. One of those questions posed, where does the Tulsa Race Massacre fall in the superintendent's definition of critical race theory? Under legislation passed last year, CRT is banned in Oklahoma schools. Walters saying the massacre should absolutely be taught.
But to say it was inherent in them because of their skin is where I say that is critical race theory. You're saying that a race defines a person. I reject that. So I would say you be judgmental of the issue.
You see how they're using these slick little words? And remember, as Neely Fuller Jr. told us, white supremacists work on both sides, the left side and the right side. They play both sides of an argument. Now he's trying to get into this whole thing to make it seem like he's not about judging people by race, but yet he doesn't want to admit or acknowledge. And of course he said that he was misquoted. He doesn't want to acknowledge that race was a factor in what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921 to these beautiful, beautiful people, beautiful black people right here. He doesn't want to acknowledge that.
The content of the character of the individual, absolutely. But let's not tie it to the skin color and say that the skin...
He doesn't want to tie it to skin color because he doesn't want white kids and kids in school learning the history and realizing that it was their own people, their own ancestors that did this to black folks, because we're concerned that the white kids are going to feel guilty and they're going to feel funny and they're going to not feel like they can fit in when it is history. If you're going to teach history, you teach it correct. This man is the superintendent of the school system in Oklahoma. Lord help us. Listen to this.
So I would say you be judgmental of the issue, of the action, of the content, of the character of the individual, absolutely. But let's not tie it to the skin color and say that the skin color determined it.
That exchange going viral online.
The skin color did determine it because the white people in that community were jealous, hateful, and did not like black people and wanted to wipe them out. They were always jealous, and they used the lie of a white woman. To you dudes out here on the YouTube streets who get up on these platforms bragging about, oh, the white woman is the best woman and the white woman is. It was a white woman who lied and got many black men deleted throughout the South, just like what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. Continue.
Arguing the superintendent was saying the Tulsa Race Massacre wasn't about race at all. That's how Norman State Rep Jacob Rosecrans interpreted the comments.
Basically what he's saying is that we shouldn't be saying that, that particular instance was not caused by race. It absolutely was.
Walters argues that is not what he said, accusing some reporters of twisting two separate answers. In a statement to KOCO5, he called the massacre racist, evil, and inexcusable, and that separately, kids should never be made to feel bad because of their race alone. Rosecrans says that statement doesn't change what he heard on Thursday.
So the fact that he's kind of just trying to step around and trying to say, oh, manufactured, he said it. He was already trying to figure it out, I think, in that meeting from the video I saw.
All right. He did say it. He did say it, folks. He's trying to play this game claim about, well, I don't judge people by race, that's a lie. When I was in college, I had a professor that told me that if anybody tells you that in America that race does not matter, the reality is that it's a shame that everything is wrapped up into race, but you gotta focus and be living in reality, because my instructor, my professor told me that in America, race always matters. Everything is broken down by race because the country was built on race in the first place. And therefore, if someone tells you that it does not exist, that it's not a reality, he said, get the hell away from them as far and furious as you can. Okay? Get away from them as far as you may possibly can. That's right. Glow, get away from them. That's right, Big Dog, Philly OG, get away from them. That's right, Brother Keith, get away from them. Lovely Cherokee, get away from them. Dominique Jones, I see you, get away from them. If people tell you that race does not play a role in all facets of life, you got to get away from them. Because even outside of America, race is a factor globally. I'm not saying that I wish it was that way. It's a shame that it is that way, but we have to understand that race is a social construct. Race, color, all these things are social construct. A lot of us call ourselves black people, but when you look at me honestly and look at yourself in the mirror, I'm not really black. So that's why there's a lot of confusion. People will say the word black and brown, but then when I look at my skin, I look more brown. So am I really black because my skin's not black? Or is it just that we use that term because it's a social construct, which these social constructs have been used to control and socialize people, divide and conquer, and put us in boxes over here and over there? Because clearly when I look at myself, I'm not technically black because my skin's not technically black. I'm more brown. So what category do you really fit into? This is where the idea of race confuses us, but it's the idea that the cultural concept is a reality. Even if we know that these are social constructs, it's still a reality in everyday American and global society, which is why they treat darker skinned people in other countries poorer compared to the more fairer skin. And within the black community, we are still snipped by this whole thing called colorism. We can't let it go. But race always matters because people judge you by your race based on what their experiences are with that race and what stereotypes they have brought in through watching 10 o'clock news.
Right.
Tell the truth.
These are very important things to understand. Reparations, once again, is not begging. It is a debt that this country owes. And what they do is they continue to lie to us when they tell us, well, where are the living descendants? And when we have living descendants, they want to change the bar again. And then you got people running around here saying that, oh, things have changed in America. Things are better. Come on now, we're not caught up in these sort of things anymore. No, it's a reality. That judge did what she did because of her own bias racially towards these beautiful people. And this is a shame about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a shame about it as well.
Tell the truth.
The shame about it is that the United States government could have already made this good. They could have already made them whole when they should have given Viola Fletcher, Van Ellis, and Mother Randall reparations and the living descendants in that community. See, remember a couple of years back we had a centennial of the 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma racial massacre, and there was all this braggadocious about the museum. They were putting a lot of energy into the museum. And my thing was, okay, a museum is nice, it's cute, okay.
Sorry.
You can go there, you can learn some things, but the reality those people need money more than they needed a damn museum. The museum is another form of symbolism, and that's why they give black people museums. They give you singers. They give you black people, Supreme Court, female black Supreme Court justices and male. They give us certain black people they put in the presidential cabinet. They give us symbolism and say, see, we've got a black vice president and Kamala Harris. So now y'all can shut up, black people. You got it. All you get is symbolism. So black women that were out there that were caping for the Biden administration because you were saying, oh Biden, please put a black woman on the ticket. And they gave you who? They gave you Kamala Harris. Now, this administration, the Joe Biden administration, has been in office for damn near 4 years. This is the last term. Why is it that they did not get Viola Fletcher and her brother and Mother Randall reparations? Why didn't the federal government step in before the local government that has already said they ain't going to do nothing for them, but they're going to appeal? Why didn't Joe Biden do more than just give a funky speech? Why didn't he do an executive order and give Mother Fletcher, her brother, and remember, y'all, this is the shame of it. Remember that Mother Fletcher was a holdout in that centennial. She said, nah, y'all not going to use her family, her brother. They were like, nah, we're not going to show up if you're just going to use us as a photo op, use us as if we're luggage, use us as if we're some characters at an amusement park.
Right.
Y'all going to have to break us off some money. So remember, there was this whole controversy over them getting appearance money, which they should have gotten. And so they did get some money, but it still ain't enough because they deserve more than that funky appearance money that they got. Oh yeah, Mother Fletcher, she's a rider, y'all. She's a warrior. She said, nah, y'all not gonna use me.
Right.
As supposed to gonna have me come there.
Yeah,
y'all gonna
she
shake
got
my
her
hand.
senses. She got her senses.
And y'all gonna,
she's smart.
give me flowers.
She's smart.
And that's gonna be it. No, Mother
She's
Fletcher
smart.
said, where y'all gonna break me off some appearance fees, baby?
Go ahead, Mother Fletcher.
Okay. The brother said too, y'all gonna break me off some appearance fees. All right. Show us the money. That's right. So,
Right, Mother.
why is it that Kamala Harris, who once said, no, I'm not going to just do something just for black people? Well, why didn't Kamala Harris put her foot down with Joe Biden and say, look, we got to make these people whole. We got to give them a reparations package. We weren't even talking about they weren't even talking about reparations for all black people in America who come from this lineage. We're talking about a reparation package specifically tailored towards the living descendants and someone like Viola Fletcher, who is living in the flesh. But no, y'all Negroes, the Congressional Black Do Nothing Caucus, y'all sat up there, y'all know I'm telling the truth, and y'all got into symbolism. There is Miss Fletcher and her brother right there as the usual suspect. You see him, Joe Biden, the usual suspect, is sitting up there giving his speech. And remember, Negroes got all happy and excited when he made that appearance. Y'all remember that? How people got all excited when here comes the president. And what was the president gonna do? Was the president coming with a check in hand? Was the president coming to say, today I'm signing a bill, I'm signing an executive order so that their reparations money will flow? Y'all can give the Ukrainians billions of dollars. Y'all can send billions of dollars in foreign aid to countries that don't even like America. But y'all couldn't drop a couple of $1 billion on this community. Joe Biden, you said you're going to be the social justice president. I see no justice in you. It's just us, and you ain't done a damn thing. And here is the truth. Watch this.
All the descendants here today of the community and civil rights leaders and members of the Congressional Black Caucus that are here, thank you for making sure we all remember and we never forget. You know, there's a verse in 1 Corinthians that says, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face, now I know in part, then I shall know fully." It is, I just toured the Hall of Survivors here in Greenwood Cultural Center. And I want to thank the incredible staff for hosting us here. And if I didn't say what my father would insist on, please excuse my back. I apologize.
Once again, it's symbolism. He's thanking everybody about touring the museum. Symbolism. But symbolism from a president means nothing without cutting a damn check. Continue.
But in the tour I met Mother Randall, who's only 56 years old. God love her. And
Mother Randall on the far left with the white bag in her hand. They need a damn bag in their hand. All three of them, including the descendants that live there still, all three of these beautiful black people need bags of money in their hand. They need so many bags of money that it would cover them up that you wouldn't even be able to see them anymore. That's what they need.
and Mother Fletcher, who's 67 years old, and her brother Van Ellis.
See, black people, we don't need jokes. We need the government to make some shit right. Because she said out of her own mouth that she wants some stuff to be made right. Alright, remember she said this?
Everything is beautiful and rebuilt and restored, and we just think it's just time now that we have justice on all of that, to where we can live all our life, that type of life over again as a grown up.
All right.
He's 100 years old, and he looks like he's 60. Thank you for spending so much time with me. I really mean it. It
Jonathan
was a great
Kidd, what's
honor,
up, brother?
a genuine honor. You are the three known remaining survivors of a story seen in the mirror.
Okay, so if they are the three living survivors, where is the damn check?
Right.
You can give the Ukrainians $1 billion. I think, what did they get? The Ukrainians got $60 billion, $70 billion. You can give all these other groups $1 billion. Y'all are about to cut another check for the Jewish community at $1.4 billion. They're getting cut. They're getting a lick. Where is their lick? See, we don't need speeches and I understand what y'all went through and I have a feeling for it. No, we don't need rockabye baby speeches.
Dimly, but no longer. Now your story will be known in full view. The events we speak of today took place 100 years ago, and yet I'm the first president in 100 years ever to come to Tulsa.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled by this. It don't mean nothing. So what that Jim Crow Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, so what? So what he came? So what he's the first president to come there? So what? He didn't leave them with a check. He didn't say, I'm going to do something to get reparations to these three living survivors. Right? He didn't say he was going to do any of that stuff at all. So what good does it mean to come out there, give a nice little speech, and leave them folks in the same condition that you found them in? Jim Crow Biden. And see, black folks are clapping in the audience, but yet y'all got nothing from this man to this very day.
I say that not as a compliment about me, but to think about it. 100 years, and the first president to be here during that entire time.
That don't mean nothing, because it don't mean nothing when they just got a lawsuit that was dismissed, where a lawsuit said they didn't have a right to seek reparations when they're the last living victims of it. So you coming there a couple years back don't mean nothing, Joe. You are the president of the United States. You control, or you're the president that has a DOJ, Department of Justice. Where is the justice? Where is the DOJ to step in and make this shit right?
In this place, in this ground, to acknowledge the truth of what took place here. For much too long, the history of what took place here was told in silence, cloaked in darkness. But just because history is silent, it doesn't mean that it did not take place. And while darkness can hide...
So you know, see, he wants to get into this speech about darkness hiding. The hell with the speeches. Joe Biden didn't do anything for this community, and he had the money and the power to do it. You can give the Ukrainians, all these other people who ain't from here, you can give them all. You took tax dollars from the people in that community and you gave it to some damn foreigners.
Much. It erases nothing.
This is one of the reasons why his approval rating is so bad, particularly amongst black people. We're sick and tired of the Democratic Party, and don't get it twisted, that Republican Klan ain't shit either.
Right.
It erases nothing. Some injustices are so heinous, so horrific, so grievous, they can't be buried, no matter how hard people try. And so it is here. Only with truth can come healing and justice and repair.
Wait a minute. He just said it's only through truth that you can have healing, justice, and repair. Do I have to play this once again?
What does justice look like to you?
Well, everything is beautiful and rebuilt and restored, and we just think it's just time now that we have.
Miss Viola Fletcher and her brother are looking for things to be repaired and restored. Biden said that bullshit that he just said a few minutes ago that I played those years ago when they had the centennial celebration. The Biden administration has done nothing to assist in the repair of that community and the repair financially of the two living victims, along with Mother Randall, who makes up the third living survivor. Biden is just giving you talk and speeches. He's done nothing.
Right.
Nothing to the repair that he just spoke of right there. Hear it again.
But that isn't enough. First, we have to see, hear, and give respect to Mother Randall, Mother Fletcher, and Mr. Van Ellis.
Right, where the money at? Give respect, but where the damn money?
All those lost
Where the money?
so many years ago.
Yeah.
All the descendants
So give 'em
of
repair.
those who suffered. To this community. That's why we're here. To shine a light. To make sure America knows the story in full. May.
Let me just say this, folks. This is the bullshit. He says that he wants America to know the story, yet Tulsa, Oklahoma, this community has a superintendent of schools. I just showed the video. He doesn't even want to admit that race was a factor. He's doing everything he can to dance around race. He's now trying to put this history in the category of being critical race theory. He wants to dance around. This is the current superintendent of the schools in this community. And yet, the president just said not too long ago, it's about knowing the history. They're not teaching the history. they're trying to destroy it. They're trying to bury it away, and they're trying to absolve white society of their involvement in it.
(1921). Formerly enslaved black people and their descendants are here in Tulsa, a boom town of oil and opportunity in a new frontier. On the north side, across the rail tracks that divided the city already segregated by law, they built something of their own, worthy of their talent and their ambition. Greenwood, a community, a way of life. Black doctors and lawyers, pastors, teachers.
All right. So as you can see, Biden is just doing the simple symbolism thing. He's talking about what they had doctors, they had lawyers, but he has done nothing to make this community good, or the 3 living victims. Viola Fletcher, her brother Van Ellis, and Mother Randall. These are the 3 that have got no justice. They've already had a local judge, Carolyn Wall, who has dismissed their case that they filed in 2020 by dismissing it by prejudice and saying they can't file again. Although they are appealing it, but you would think that they can go and file their lawsuit at the federal level, but they shouldn't even have to do that, because at the federal level, Joe Biden should have stepped in and done something to make things right for this community, for this particular person. It wasn't enough to just go there and give a funky speech. And now we have Republicans that have jumped out the damn window, like Brian Babin, who is now introducing a bill to try to eliminate any state in America that is deciding, this is a straight white supremacist in a suit and tie, there's no doubt about it, who is deciding to have a reparations bill discussion to push forth. He's saying if they try to get federal money, he said that they do this, they should be exempt from all federal money, everything. Let you hear what my man Rashad Ritchie, who really did a great job of breaking this whole thing down, and I really want y'all to hear his point of view, and I'll give my commentary, and I want to hear what you all have to say when I look at your messages in the chat, and I want to hear your thoughts as we get ready to come to a conclusion today. I thank you for being here, everybody. Make sure you share this video. This is very important subject matter. I should have 1,000 people over here, but we seem to sometimes want to watch things that are really not constructive for us. Because those of you who live in these southern states, you need to be aware of what the Republicans are cooking up and how it's going to affect the reparations programs across the country when a particular state and people are rallying around these issues, what the Republicans got cooking up. Let's hear it right now.
Republicans, actually a bunch of them, about 14 total, they hate black folks so much that they are willing to sponsor a bill that if a state, a county, or even a municipality, if they give a penny of money to black people in the guise or under the guise of reparations, it should eliminate all federal funding from ever coming to that entire state forever. Put up the picture. I mean, that's some hate. Texas Republicans in the House are not simply threatening the loss of federal funding for lawmakers who support reparations for black residents. They have now introduced a bill to do just that. The 13 co-sponsored bill introduced by Brian Babin would prohibit the federal government from providing financial assistance or bailouts to states local counties or municipalities if they support reparation laws that are associated with descendants of slaves. Now remember, in the bill itself,
Tell the truth.
it makes the distinction. We're not talking about reparations. We're only talking about reparations as it relates to descendants of slaves. But they're not racist. This is one of the most insane.
I want to say peace and love to brother Narratives and Dialogue. He got a good channel. Y'all go over there and subscribe to Narratives and Dialogue when you have a chance and check him out. And I want y'all to also write his name down, so when you have an opportunity to go to his channel and sub, check him out. He really breaks things down. It really brings up a lot of logic on these YouTube streets. We don't have. That's what we need on the YouTube streets. We need people that are more logic, who use more logic, who are research, who know what they're talking about. We have a lot of people on these YouTube streets who will be talking and don't know what the hell they're talking about. So check that brother out. And everybody in the chat room, write each other's names down so that you can go back later on and sub to some of these channels that are in this chat room today. And I appreciate it.
We were on a guided museum tour. I'm not an art
All I
person.
gotta say is
But
this.
then I found
May
something
the four
that
winds
spoke
come
to me.
against that man's house. May God allow the
Explore
ancestors
over
of
100,000
descendants
travel
upon him
experiences you'll remember.
and take
Do
away
more with Viator.
his meanings and the generational meanings. That's how.
Well, tonight
I
on
do
the
that.
podcast, ladies and gentlemen, there was an article that came out of the New York Times that I kind of want to just look at an excerpt of this particular article, because it's talking about the position that the Democrat Party is in with black Americans. Now, we know black Americans have been really stomping the yard about reparations. Reparations is our new fight in this day and time. Our fight has resonated all over the world, because now you see people even within the diaspora talking about reparations for colonization, in which I support them fighting for reparations and looking deep into their history and knowing exactly what the white supremacists have done, what they have stolen from them, and they need to give all their things back. Continuing, in this New York Times article, it says here that Democratic officials had for years nodded approvingly at the idea of reparations, just the idea of it, but as a far-off ideal to close the racial wealth gap. In other words, the lip service. They wouldn't really in their mind want to give reparations to black Americans. And I told you that the liberal, and we're talking about the white one, running things in the Democrat Party, because black folks don't run nothing in the Democrat Party. Not a thing. And whether you're talking about the white conservative, they both agree that they do not want black Americans to be made whole. And the reason why they don't want black Americans to be made whole is because in this wicked system called Babylon, the Democrats and Republicans both feel that black people have a preordained position in America. And your preordained position in America is supposed to be at the bottom, not transferring wealth that's owed to you to get you out of that position. They want to make sure that you stay there, because white supremacy is gauged off of how black people, how well they're doing and how bad they're doing, even globally. No one wants to see the black man and woman rise out of that position of being at the bottom. So continuing, they said the position that appealed to many black voters, and say who are the Democrat Party's most loyal constituency, and say but the headline grabbing recommendations, say by lawmakers and local and state task forces, and say are forcing Democratic leaders to wrestle with financial and political implications sooner than many would have liked. Yes, they would like to play games with you for a few years longer, but now because you're talking about reparations, now you're pushing about reparations commissions, and the California Reparations Commission has put out even $1 amount. That puts more pressure on the Democrat Party. Listen, if Gavin Newsom play games with black people, listen, that's a win for black people. We say, well, how that's a win? We're not getting the money. It's a win because it makes people like me to smile, because now we can actually wake more black Americans up to the games that the Democrat Party play with us. They don't want to see us whole. They don't want to see us with reparations. All they want is for us to show up on election day and keep them in power and not give us anything. So they're not liking having to be put in a position where they either do something for black people or they risk losing power. Now they say continuing, few Democrats in positions of power take seriously the possibility of spending billions, as say, of dollars to redistribute wealth, as say, to the descendants of slaves. But that reality is putting party leaders eager to retain the allegiance of black voters in the uncomfortable position of finding ways to say no, or not yet, or to change the subject entirely pending some dramatic improvement in the economy. See, in the past, that kind of worked with black people. Well, we just got some hope and change. You know, you got to have some hope. And we gotta hope some change is gonna come. And we just can't do it just yet because this issue. Well, just wait a little bit and wait and wait and wait. And you waited from administration to administration to administration. You waited from cycle of Congress to cycle of Congress to cycle of Congress. You waited, you waited, you waited, and you waited long enough. And the Democrats know they can't tell you wait no longer. Now when they're spending billions of dollars in Ukraine, they can't tell you to wait no longer. When they're spending billions of dollars for people that are just coming across the border into American cities, while they're not prioritizing American citizens, they can't tell you to wait no longer. And they know this. It's becoming a problem for them. Because see, we live in a time period where we actually can go look at what you're spending now. We can go look at who vote for what now. It's not hidden like it used to be back in the day. Understand? The Democrats know they are in trouble because every year there are voters who just show up to vote that lived during the time of the Civil Rights Movement and they was happy with the Democrats because of the Civil Rights Bill. That group of voters every year are dwindling because life is happening. In other words, people are passing away. So today, the people that's talking now are saying this: the Civil Rights Bill, great as it is, we need reparations. Reparations is going to be what we need to make it complete. You can't tell us about the Civil Rights Bill. You can't tell us anything about it at this point. We got to have reparations because black people are suffering in this country. And a lot of black Americans are saying that if you don't give us reparations, then we have no reason to go show up and vote for you. None. Because you got no problem giving money to everybody else. Why not the black American? Now continue. They say California task force priced the reparations owed to black residents at up to $1.2 million each. It said compensations for the state's long history of housing discrimination, mass incarceration, unequal health care, and other harms outlined in this report. But Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat who signed the law setting up the task force, dodged the issue of cost, declaring that reparations are about much more than cash payments. Gavin Newsom cannot tell black people about anything about our lives because in this country, cash is king. And you need cash to make things happen in your life. In this country and even throughout the world, you need some sort of money. When people sue different corporations for harms, what do? They don't give them an apology, they sue for money. When someone, like these police, for instance, when they out here killing folks, what ended up happening? They get a settlement in the millions with money. They don't get health care. They don't get education. They don't get programs. They don't get a community center. They get money. Look at the situation that even happened with Tasha K and Cardi B. The court didn't award Cardi B an apology. They didn't award Cardi B a community center or health care or education. They awarded her money from Tasha K. So that is a precedent in this country to award people for harm. That's determined. It's not abnormal, but when it comes to black folk in America, who have a documented history of hundreds of years of harm, of theft, of terrorism. You want to talk about education when you don't do that to nobody else? Man, please. Now, they say the board, they say the supervisors in San Francisco expressed support for setting aside $5 million in compensation for some residents. But Mayor London Breed, a black woman, a Democrat, they say has not committed to payments. The reason why she's not committing to payments is because the Democrat Party don't want payments. Let me tell you something. Liberal California, no one stands in their way from doing nothing for black folk. It is a Democrat-ran state. Just like Texas. Texas is a Republican-ran state. Democrats can't do a whole lot in the state of Texas. Just like in California, Republicans can't do a whole lot. So if they really want to do reparations for black people in California, they can do it. And we got to keep on pressing that and pushing that and saying that no one stands in their way in California from doing reparations. If they don't want to do reparations in California, it's because they don't want black people to be made whole in California, and they are anti-black racist. I told y'all, if you're against reparations, I said that. I don't care what you're coming up with. You're anti-black racist because you ain't said nothing about anybody else that your tax dollars going to. You're only saying that because you don't want black people to have nothing. You want black people to have that preordained position and staying at the bottom. And black people coming from the bottom messes up social order. Understand? It makes people nervous to see black people doing good. You have to understand that.
Right.
If you're doing good even as an individual, that makes some people nervous.
Right.
Because they know they can't just do anything to you because now you got resources. Understand? And when you have resources at your disposal, they got to approach you different. They can't treat you like they treat a black person who have no resources, no nothing. Think about if black people had resources, we wouldn't be in this position. You're talking about mass incarceration. If you look at the majority of people that's incarcerated, they did not come out of households where people are making six figures and above. They didn't come out of households where people making $75,000 and above. Hell, a lot of them didn't come out of households where people making $50,000 and above. A lot of times it's low income because when they get in the system, they don't have no money to fight anything. Or do they have money to create businesses like that? No, but what if you get some capital? It's a lot of black businesses right now that's small. And if they just had an injection of capital, they would invest in their business. They would, maybe a little brother or sister cooking out their kitchen. Maybe they won't buy a food truck. Man, if I can get this food truck, I can really make a bag to the point I can open up a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? That's what black people had, and that's what they don't want. They don't want black people to do for self. That's what it is. You have to understand, in the Willie Lynch letter, it said that to keep them dependent on us. That was in the Willie Lynch letter. Why? Because if you keep them dependent on us, then they will be subservient to us. If you keep them believing in their system, then they're going to put all their faith in them, right? And believe in their system. So, black folks waking up by the Democrat Party is shaking things.
If you make less than $122,000,
I'm going to stop it right here. And I'm going to say this to what is the Gavin Newsom, what is it, the Democrat, to the Oklahoma senator, to Texas. You can deny this all you want. You can keep going along to get along all you want. You can bring the justice all you want. But I'm going to tell you, the Most High of our ancestors, just in the days of the Bible, will get vengeance on your will. You see why the things are happening in America, and America's already out of whack with the Most High God. If they make reparation, make it right, would be right in the eyes of God, and make it morally right would be in the eyes of God. But if America doesn't want to do the right thing by the descendants who helped build this country on the backs of blood, free labor, so let it be. Let it be that, from the ancestors of the cotton fields of Georgia all the way up to the east to the west coast. May they as they mock us, as they laugh at us, as they do all these things. I'm saying, may the four winds come from the east to the west, from north and south, hit their finances, hit their generational curse, put them under duress that they have put the black family under duress. That's what I want. The one from Oklahoma, I want him to feel that. I want the one in Texas that feel that. I want the one in Florida, DeSantis, to feel that. I want them to feel the duress of what we do. I want them to feel the pressure. I want them, and I pray to God that God will let the four winds come against them and tear down their generational curse in their family. Just like you robbed us and you signed legislation, whatever is done unto us, let it be done unto you in your generations. And I pray to God that He would live to see what you have tacked the innocent ones, the descendants of the lineage of the slave. You will pay dearly. You will pay. And I pray to God and cry out that they didn't want to even honor the ones that were from the Tulsa, Oklahoma. You just mocked them and just pat them on the head. Well, guess what? Even Biden's people are going to feel it. They think it's a joke. You think you can control another human being with your words? That's my prayer. And I pray I can declare and decree it. You can't. No, we're gonna be like. That's the kind of prayer we should pray, just like they did it on the cotton fields of Mississippi and Georgia. Don't pray that to save the man. Let the master's house burn the head down. Let them feel the reap and the tear of those descendants of the slaves. Let them feed the fair and the bully tactic. What you've done unto us will be done unto you. What you trying to return on you, and I ain't for no either party, no Democrat or Republican, because you are a wicked bird of a two same wing. And anybody that black goes along with it, then you're gonna go down with them too. This is bull crap. Them people came there. But don't worry, because I pray to God on their behalf that they get justice, because they deserve the justice. And they keep putting us in a bind, they will be in a bind themselves. And I pray to God that that they think they escape this life, they'll be in the next life serving us. And bastards like that one in Texas do. And white supremacy is going to fall. It will fall by the hands of the Most High. And I pray the descendants who cry out from the time of the lynch trees of Georgia and Mississippi get their vengeance. And the Tulsa, Oklahoma get their vengeance. But I pray the Most High get their vengeance for them on the United States. Forget this stuff. We go pray. Maybe pray. No, forget that. They arrogantly telling us in our face. We're not. Neither one of us ain't human to take the dog, give reparations. And anybody want to stand in agreement with that may hit them too. This is bull crap. Them people came with reason, and black people always took the suffering. and then they use black people and get the 2% of black people to try to convince the 90%. That stuff is over. It's over. And I ain't voting for Biden or any of his clansmen, whether it's a Democrat or Republican. That's why you're gonna reap what you sow. Y'all gonna reap what you sow. You just deny descendants, you're gonna reap what you sow. Because America's already under judgment as we speak. And I hope the Most High speed up the judgments. I hope he does. And I hope it hits the DeSantis house. I hope it hits the Republicans' house. I hope it hits the Democrats' side. And all those who rode against us. I hope it hits you. I hope it hits your household. I hope you feel that way we feel for 400 years. Anybody stand in agreement with that, you take that to your small town. I hope that God it happens. Then people came with reason, and all they did was give them a lecture. They deserve it. You gave it to the Holocaust people of the Holocaust, and the Japanese internment camps. They deserve it. We was one of the ones that suffered just as much trauma they did. You keep trying to ill-humanize us and control us, but you don't know your time is running short. And remember when 2019 came, well, guess what? The Most High gonna put it back on you. Since it was on us, being descendants of slaves, the transatlantic slave, is going back to the slaver. It's going back to you. It's going back to your community. It's going back. You're not going to keep riding high on this. And ain't your money and your power ain't going to do nothing. Your influences. Like I said, I pray to God the four elements come from east to the west and north and south. Come against these people for what they've done, the evilness and wickedness that they've done. And that they try to put it in a law in the paper. And I hope that the slaves who died on the cotton fields from every state and every burnt slave town, I pray that God will give a vengeance on those people, for those folks, and punish the ones who did it, and punish their descendants who didn't want to do the right thing by the Most High. And they want to dance around and act like, oh, we don't want to be. No, put the fear on them. Put the fear on them. Because black people have been feeling that fear for 400 years and trauma. May you feel what we feel. Let you get a taste of it. Get the generational taste of it. Now, see how you like that. I don't care, man. We've been reasonable with these people. Black people always want to be reasonable. And they sit up, they just pat us on the head. No. Maybe we need to get like the field Negro and pray that the house burn the heck down. And like Malcolm X used to say, yeah, there was one field Negro who was hoping, what's wrong? We gotta save the master's house. No, let's be the Negro. Say let the son of a gun burn down. Let them feel the wrath. Made it. In fact, hope the tornadoes hit them up and the lightning and everything else. Because guess what? It won't be by the hands of man. It be the hands of God with the word. Because since we are the people of the word and we are the descendants of slaves, we have power in what we say. And I hope more black people make that kind of prayer. Because they did it in the Bible times. Ain't no kissing and all hard. Well, and then they come in, you shoot up or kill innocent people. They do nothing to you. All because of your hatred. And may the hatred and your bigotry be your own destruction. Whether you do it in private, whether it's in public. That's what I'm hoping. And I hope the ones who execute their bigotry, I hope it lands back on them. That's right. It hits them tenfold. They want to sing about it. They want to mock us and laugh about it. And any other people that come with the racism against black people, let it fall back on you. Let it fall back on you. Now, you want to keep mocking us at our suffering and our destruction? Let it come back on you. That's right. And let's just see what's funny. Let's see how your household feels. Let's see how your finances feel. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. It irked me because they came down to reason and they wouldn't even honor the elders. All he did was joke around with them, make a mockery of them, give them some old sassy lesson. We learned that from stuff from Obama. Heck with these people, man. Maybe it's time that's what we need to do. Pray that the Master's house made the son of a gun burn down. But you want to say your own version, I say my own version. Anyway, hope you enjoy this video. Like and subscribe till next time. Keep your head up, black people. We're gonna get there. Just keep praying and declare a decree. It shall come to pass on the so-called slave master's head. Be blessed.